in 1918, and it is the prequel about the old lady from the first one, Pearl. So do you guys know how this movie was conceived?
A man
I heard
fell
about
in love with a woman.
it was filmed in secret, and during COVID, they talked about it and workshopped it online. I guess.
So basically, what happened
during
is
COVID, they made that very clear.
When they went to go film this movie, when they went to go film X for the 2-week period, the 2-week quarantine period that they had to have when they entered New Zealand, Mia Goth and the director wrote this in their hotel room, and they sent it to A24. And since or A24, A24, whatever the fuck. A24, they sent it over to them. And A24 actually liked it so much that they gave them more money and said, shoot it while you're down there. So they shot these literally at the same time.
So, but there's a trilogy. Did they shoot the third one at the same time?
You didn't stay for the post-credit scene, did you?
For Pearl?
Yeah.
No, I got out of there.
You didn't watch
it. Wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it. It was just a teaser. But I mean, it goes back to Mia Goth's character from the original.
Oh yeah,
X.
But in the 80s.
But in the 80s, and apparently
she's even older.
Well, yeah, and apparently this one says basically the synopsis for that one is when fucking and sucking goes wrong, because apparently it's another porn shoot that turns into a fucking slaughter. So, so anyway, that's how this movie was conceived. Pearl actually. The budget of X, I believe, was only like $1 million, right? It was somewhere.
It was really.
It was somewhere around.
I mean, it's like one location, really.
Yeah, it was around $1 million, and that went on to make, I think, 14 million overall, like worldwide. So that's obviously a hit. This one already, which was made at the same time as X, under the same budget, already has made 1.3 million. So
good for that movie.
They're already cleaning house with it. Anyway, we're gonna start with non-spoilers because I think there's still people who are gonna want to see this. This is gonna travel. You know what I mean?
It's got legs.
It's got legs, unfortunately. But oddly enough, there was only one showing for me. Like when I went, there was only 7:00. Like, be there, or you're missing it. Like that's what
opening night, same.
Yeah.
But now it's a couple times a day. But opening night, it was one showing.
Yeah. So I'll say this just generally. I walked out of this one. So I walked out of X not liking X and consistently not liking it. I walked out of this one and I was like, inconceivably, they have somehow disappointed me more this time around. Yet now, the more I thought about it over the weekend, I was like, actually, there was aspects of this that I think I appreciated more than I did when I saw X. And I think that speaks a lot to the performance by Mia Goth specifically and the overall palette of the film.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it was beautifully shot.
It's a much more how do I say
stylized, whatever. It's
stylized. It's very saturated as well. Like the saturation is turned way the fuck up.
Pop. Yeah.
Yeah. But I also kind of feel like that it's just for me, it's just a collection of scenes. You know what I mean? It's not really like,
dude, I really enjoyed this. You know, the whole. I went into this wanting to hate it.
Really?
After my experience in X, I was like, wow, this one tells a story. There's a reason that Pearl does everything. It's not just mindless killing. And I really enjoyed the trajectory and how Pearl got her philosophy. I think I would have liked X so much better had this one come out first.
So my whole thing is like I said, I think initially I was disappointed as much or not more, but I think I've actually come around and I like it more than X. But for me, I feel like it still falls flat in moments.
I think you said it's a false flag.
It's a false
flag.
It's a fucking psyop, brother. No, but it's in some small parts. I feel like it just, I don't know. There's something unnerving and unsettling about it the entire time that I couldn't really get comfortable and find the groove. You know, I got to be honest. I think this is a better Joker movie than Joker.
That's actually probably the best critique I've heard of this movie.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. it definitely documents and sells the descent into madness a little bit more than I think Joker did. But I don't know. I never felt like there was something I could chew on. You know what I mean? Like if there was something I could really be like, oh, interesting, or like, oh, that's a, you know. And also, listen,
you're into more like traditional horror, and this was more of a psychological thriller almost for most of it.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. Like Mia Goth is absolutely unbelievable in this. She's incredible from start to finish. AJ, I am ready for you to tell me all the things I missed and all the connections to X that went right over my head. So when we get into spoilers, by all means, but non-spoiler, what do you think?
I liked it. I liked it less than X, but my expectations were X going into this. I didn't see any trailers because I didn't watch the post-credit in X. I knew nothing about this, like what was literally going to happen. So the style of it was incredible to me. I loved just watching this movie at face value.
It's like a fucked up Wizard of Oz looking type of shit.
That's what they said. I believe Ty West said it's Wizard of Oz meets Psycho.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
And
I did notice
it feels that way.
The Scarecrow is wearing like the same shirt that the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz is wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That when she's riding the bike and stuff, it's clearly like an homage to that.
Gulch.
Yeah.
She fucks the shit out of that Scarecrow.
Yeah, I liked it just for its sheer existence. To me, it was just pleasant as I was watching it because like you can get because $1 million basically paid for 2 movies.
Yeah,
and like 2/3, if not like 5/8 of the budget clearly went to X, while this one got whatever was kind of left over. So this felt like a smaller movie, and I appreciated the scale of the story. So I thought it was funny at times. Some of the shots were incredible, like the really lingering shots and really being able to show Mia Goth's performance uninterrupted was really good. So I liked it. Didn't like it as much as X, but liked it.
That monologue she gives towards the end, where she's talking to Howard, it was so powerful and so disgusting at the same time. Yeah, I couldn't take my eyes off it.
I gotta be like I get the performance was incredible, and like, did you see my Instagram story of the end credits? Yeah. Like, I put the end credits on my Instagram where she's like crying her fucking eyes out and everything. And somebody said to me, "How do you think she did that?" I was like, "Well, she was married to Shia LaBeouf for 2 years, so she probably is pretty good at crying on command."
Yeah.
And apparently they're back together and they have a kid now. Fucking absolutely crazy. Either way, though, everything I want to critique is like a spoiler. You know what I mean? So I say let's just wrap up non-spoilers right now. For me, this is better than X, but still didn't like get my rocks off the way I was looking for. So I'd give this like a 6.5 out of 10.
AJ?
It's funny enough, I'm also going to give it a 6.5. Like it's still enjoyable, still good, but I can't see myself watching this movie by itself. If I'm watching it again, it's because I'm watching the whole, I imagine, trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. Nick, what about you?
I think I'm going to give it a 7 just because it was way better than I expected. The only negative thing I would say is that the ending felt a little like it just ends. It doesn't and I think it makes sense that it ended there, but there's that I could have watched another extra half hour of this movie.
Yeah, it didn't have that finality.
Yeah, it felt very open-ended and not in a way where it's like you decide what happens next. More it's just like, okay, we're done. We
Return to Monkey Island.